Jason, you can't fight him. You can't stop him. And now, you can't even keep him on the screen.
Hey there kids, welcome back. David from Atomic Candy, and right now we are open by chance, and what we are opening up with for you here today is another addition to the Mezco 1/12 Collective Collection, and that is Jason Voorhees from Friday the 13th. More specifically, Friday the 13th Part 3, which makes sense because Friday the 13th Part 1, spoiler alert, was his mother. And then Part 2, he was kind of dressed like a scarecrow, not in the classic hockey mask, which everyone is more familiar with. A lot of accessories with this one. So I'm looking forward to getting into this package. I haven't really opened this up yet. I did show this in an unboxing, but I didn't open it up to examine it at that time. Latest edition in their horror line. You know, they've done a zombie 2-pack from Dawn of the Dead, and they've done Ash Williams from Evil Dead 2. Here we are. And there is a plastic sleeve over a cardboard sleeve, and I'm just going to take the cardboard sleeve off without removing the plastic one. And there's the plastic sheet that covers the cellophane window to keep it from getting scuffed up. Take that all the way off. I'll try to. There we go. And there he is. Hard to really see him right there, but we're going to go ahead and open the box, and I'll show you how every time for those of you who are new and you want to see how to open these up without bending up your box flap. If you like to keep them intact, take a knife or any tool, slip it into the edge, and just give it a little twist, and it pops out without damaging your box. Just like that. But this is the latest edition in their horror line. The next one is supposed to be Freddy Krueger, and I think that's due to be released in November. There's your warning notice. It's a toy, but it's not. If you break it, it's on you. Please be careful, of course. And we'll go ahead and open these trays up and see what we've got. Like I said, there are a lot of accessories with this one. Lots of options for Jason Voorhees here. Get that bottom tray out. Here we are. You can see there's a lot of weapons and accessories already in the bottom tray, as well as the top tray. Some extra hands, an extra head, an extra hockey mask. I'm not going to tip this too far forward because I don't want everything to fall out on the floor. And we'll go ahead and get him out of there and stand him up and take a good look at the accessories, and then we'll test his articulation. And here we go with our Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th Part 3 Mezco 1/12 Collective figure out of the box and ready to go. We'll take a good look at him. It's a good likeness of the character from that particular film. There he is in his like groundskeeper outfit, dressed up. No problem getting his foot on the stand. Sometimes a lot of the Mezco figures, their feet don't fit on the peg very well, but I did not have any problems getting him on there. Friday the 13th, of course, originally came out in 1980. May of 1980 was the first film, and it was popular enough that they did another one in 1981. As a matter of fact, I think all through the 80s, there was a release every single year except for 1983. So it was like 1980, 81, 82, 84, 85, 86, and on. So it was a popular series, although it was not popular with film critics. I actually remember seeing the review of Siskel and Ebert when they had their show at the movies of Friday the 13th Part 3, and they refused to review it. they were like, "This is horrible. I don't want to. I'm not going to review this film. I'm not going to grace it with a rating, thumbs up or thumbs down." And I was just like, "Wow, okay." Because in their perspective, it was just a gore fest. You know, there's no story to them. It was just Jason running around killing counselors, and they didn't care for that. But this is Friday the 13th, Part 3, and there are a lot of accessories with this figure. So you've got a lot of options with him. Notice also he does have a hunched back. You see that? That is not the way the shirt is. His back is actually hunched because the Jason character is supposed to be physically deformed. The stand says Friday the 13th, Part 3 on there. And I like when they personalize the stands and don't just use something generic, like they do sometimes with like Justice League figures, for example, and it just says Justice League, and they did that with Thor Ragnarok also. I like it better when it's personalized. Let's take a look at some of these accessories. He's got a lot of stuff. He's got an extra head, a bloody head with a slash in it, and you can see the detail in his face, bad teeth and messed up ear and everything. And that slash in his head and the slash on the top of the hockey mask correspond to the tools, to the implements that he comes with. So you can stick any of these edged weapons in here as if he's been chopped or slashed or cut. They will actually stick into the head and the mask. It's kind of hard to get it to stick into the head by itself, and I'll show you this here in a few minutes. But it does work really well when the mask is on, because I've already kind of experimented with it a little bit. 2 reaching hands. Reaching out hands. Good detail on them. You can see like veins and lines, and they look a little dirty, which would make sense for his character. A clutching right hand and a sort of a trigger finger right hand. And you're like, why does Jason have a trigger finger? Well, if you recall, he does use a harpoon gun in that film, and he does have a harpoon gun. He comes with every accessory, I believe, that was used in that movie to kill somebody. 112 collective Ziploc bag, the arm, in case you want to make Jason jumping 12 feet in the air, I guess. Something that I've never seen him do in the movie. All he does is walk really slow behind people and catch them somehow. A hunting knife. Get in there a little better. Sort of a buck knife almost. And all the tools are bloody, by the way. A wrench. Oh, the wrench is not bloody. Well, everything else is, except for the wrench. No, the wrench does not work. The wrench doesn't work. A harpoon gun. It does not fire, and the harpoon does not come out. Although it looks like it should, that does not come out. A fireplace poker. A meat cleaver. A pitchfork. Yeah. These feel kind of fragile though. See how they're bending a little bit? Be careful with some of these. A lot of the weapons, edged weapons and things that come with these 112 collective figures, they're kind of fragile, so do be careful. A more classic weapon for Jason, a machete. And a hatchet. And there you go. Very nice. Now, we're going to go ahead and take him off there and check out his articulation. Something else I wanted to show you here as well is that, yes, indeed, this mask also comes off. So his masks come off of both of the heads. And so here is deformed Jason Voorhees' head without injuries, and deformed Jason Voorhees' head with injuries. Excellent to have the option. You know, I'll test his neck here. Single jointing on the neck, but that is pretty decent movement regardless. He doesn't look up very well, he only looks forward or down. But he is deformed, and you can see his back here. He's got a real bad hunched back. Shirt does not come off, or at least it won't come off easily. I'm not going to mess with it though. T-shirt underneath. Does not appear to have jointing in the chest. Well, it does actually. I can feel it in there. I can feel a split at the chest, but it doesn't move. Probably because of that hump on his back. Side to side's not bad. Forward and backwards more at the waist than at the chest. Let's switch his head and see how hard that is. That's not too bad coming off. And not too bad going on. So no problems there. Shoulder movements. Shoulder movements not that bad. Good range of motion. I was actually expecting some obstruction because of the hump in his back, but that's not bad at all. Double jointed at the elbow, so good bend at the elbows. No problems with wrist and hand movement. Wrist and hand movement looks good. Lot of motion, and it came right off. I was actually just about to test that anyways. And both of these are gripping hands, not fists. He doesn't have fists. Usually the figures do have fists. This one does not. And I'll just pop one of these reaching hands on there. No problem. No problem switching that out. Good splits for Jason Voorhees. You wouldn't expect that. Seated and standing splits, not bad at all. The jeans are fairly loose, so it's not obstructing anything. That's a real belt going through the belt loops. You see it? But it is stitched in. There's a stitch going into it to hold it there. The pocket looks real. Let me check that real quick. I'm going to see if I can put something in the pocket. That is a real functional pocket. There you go. That's cool. So you can put something in his pocket if you want to. The shirt pockets, however, are just simulated, but the pants pockets are real. Knees. Double jointed knees. So you can make Jason dance. There is a calf pivot up in here. Or is there? Yep, there is a pivot at the top of the boot. Ankle movement, forward and backward, pretty standard. Side to side pivot, also pretty good. That looks nice. So overall his articulation is actually pretty good. Better articulation than the Mezco Aquaman, I'll tell you that. Alright, so let's go ahead and get him into a pose and see how he looks. And we are back with our Mezco 112 Collective Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th Part 3 figure in a bit of a pose, and I may have gotten a little carried away with the wrestlers. Couldn't help it. Couldn't help it. But look at him. He has got some great articulation. He's got a lot of accessories. I love the idea that you can basically plant one of the weapons in his forehead like you were trying to fight him off unsuccessfully. Jason doing a little bit of a jig here, or maybe he's just stomping on the Undertaker. Really good articulation, and a lot of accessories and a good likeness on this figure give him a lot of options for posability. So I'm really liking this one, actually. I'm really liking this one. I think they did a great job on the Jason. And a good choice for doing part 3. And I really like that they included basically all the weapons and implements that he used in the film. So you can get a lot of posing or a pretty decent diorama out of this figure. And he holds up well too. You see he's on one foot, standing on the foot peg, and the foot peg is securing him nicely. So what do you think? What do you think of the Jason Voorhees from Mezco? I think they did a really good job on this one. They did a good job on the Halloween also. I did a review of the Halloween Michael Myers Mezco, as well as the Ash Williams figure from Evil Dead 2. And I thought both of those were pretty decent. I thought they did a great job on them, and they did a really good job on this one too. It's not stiff at all. The costuming works really well. I like the way this one looks. Tell me what you think of this figure down below. Do you have this one? Is this one you're thinking about getting? Do you collect figures from horror lines? And if so, would you be considering adding this one to your collection? Let me know what you think in the comment section. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got something out of it. I hope that you did. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you are new. Check out some of our other videos. I do a lot of Mezco 112 unboxings, 6th scale unboxings, statue unboxings, toy discussions, tours of comic and toy shows, weekly roundups. We do a lot of things on this channel, so you may find something that you like. You never know. You can see his eyes through the mask. It's a nice effect. I like that. Really decent figure. They did a good job on this one. Open by chance on Instagram. If you haven't seen us on Instagram, go ahead and check us out. So that being said, thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.
Non è possibile! Sei tu!